Okay, so to reduce breakage, think of your hair in 3 zones. Your roots, your mids, and your ends. Every part has different concerns, and each part needs different care because they each contribute differently to length retention. So let's go through our hair zone by zone. We'll start at the roots. The goal here is maintain a healthy scalp environment, support follicle function, and avoid damage that interrupts the growth cycle. Why does this matter? Because a healthy scalp with a balanced microbiome and good circulation helps the follicle stay in the growth phase for longer rather than prematurely shifting into regression or shedding. Newer studies show that the hair follicle microbiome actually plays a significant role in maintaining follicle health and longevity. So when the scalp is inflamed or out of balance, the follicles start to weaken. They go quiet, so to speak, and stop producing the way that they should. Now here's what most people do not realize. With natural hair, the issues that you're dealing with today is not just today's hair decisions. No, it's the compounding effect of all the months and years of handling and mishandling and everything that we've done has brought us here. So even if you become gentle with your hair today, or you've just done that lately, your roots may still be sprouting from follicles that endured over clarification or tension years and years ago. And when the root finally grows out and becomes your mids, it carries the damage with it, meaning that the mids will fail or fatigue faster. It will break from the smallest insult. So here's what we can do. Number 1, too much cleansing strips away the scalp's natural defenses. You slow down growth, weaken the new strands as they're coming out of your scalp, and overstimulate oil production. Also, if your shampoo is too alkaline, it causes the hair shaft to swell and loosens the cuticles and weakens the hair strand right from the start, so that if the strand grows out and becomes the mids, then it is already compromised and more readily susceptible to breakage. Use shampoos that are pH balanced or have slightly acidic pH to balance the base of the hair. So, number 1, stop clarifying often. Number 2, braids and slick backs and ponytails, anything that trains your roots to be stressed. That constant redirectional pull can literally thin your hair out right from the source. Traction alopecia is real and very preventable, so avoid tension. Also, heavy styles like box braids or chunky twists with extensions, that extra weight pulls the scalp and eventually the hair snaps. Keep them loose or use little added hair or a bigger section of your own hair, right, to distribute that stress across a wider surface area. Number 3, it might feel tempting to treat your scalp like your ends and to coat it in butters and in oils, but sebum, your natural oil, helps to regulate microbial balance. When you clog the follicles with heavy products, you throw that balance off. Instead, let your scalp breathe. Moisturize your strands, your actual hair, and not your scalp, so don't smother your scalp. Number 4, the scalp does not need a scrub. A consistent routine once every 1 to 2 or 3 weeks for most people is plenty, especially if your scalp isn't actively irritated or flaking. Avoid overwashing your scalp. It's just not good for your scalp. Now, to the mids of our hair. The mids of our hair has already left the scalp and is not getting any new nutrients. The goal here is strand preservation. We want to prevent breakage as much as we can, maintain internal moisture in our hair, and avoid damage that chips away at the cuticles. No matter how healthy your scalp is, if your mids are snapping midweek, you're not retaining any length. So begin with hydration. After every wash, use a moisturizing conditioner to smooth the cuticle. With the mids of our hair, mechanical damage is a huge culprit. So always detangle gently and use the appropriate tools for your hair. Use an excellent leave-in conditioner. Protective styles work, but only when they're done right. So we're talking low manipulation styles like loose braids and buns or twists without extensions. Those styles reduce wear and tear. The mids need reinforcement because the protein network has been exposed to months and months or even years of weathering. Without periodic rebuilding, cross lengths in the hair weaken and the fiber cannot resist mechanical force. So use low molecular weight hydrolyzed proteins like hydrolyzed wheat, hydrolyzed silk. These can enter the hair shaft and fill in microscopic cracks between the cuticle scales and create temporary ionic bonds. Just remember that overuse of protein can cause brittleness. Next, Twist outs and braid outs look great, they do, but the tension from stretch style starts to add up. If you are redoing your twist every night, that cumulative force causes mid-shaft fatigue and makes the hair fatigue faster. That's breakage literally happening in slow motion without you even knowing it. Stop forcing your hair to redo a style every day. Style your hair for the week and leave it be. Just leave it be. Also bear in mind that your mids lose moisture first. The office aircon, the cold wind, indoor heat, all of that pulls water from your strands. If your twist out lasts a good 4 days, right, before it starts to feel dry, put it in a bun on day 4 or day 5. Even if the style still looks gorgeous and great and perfect, protect your hair. Also, beware of product buildup. If you layer product on top of product on top of product every day without washing your hair or clarifying often, it starts to become rigid. Fine type 4 hair strands cannot handle that. Why? As flexibility starts to go down, brittleness starts to go up. We don't want that. So yes, moisturize your hair properly and do it often, but wash and rinse your hair properly too. We need the washing. Your mids need both. Use a deep conditioner alone and skip the conditioners completely. Or don't use your deep conditioner after you've used the rinse out conditioner. Chemically speaking, deep conditioners contain higher concentrations of cationic surfactants and conditioning agents that are designed to penetrate the hair and bind to the hair shaft, restoring moisture or protein balance. If you apply a rinse out conditioner first, its film forming silicones or fatty alcohols coat the cuticles, blocking those deeper acting ingredients from entering into the hair shafts. By using the deep conditioner only or using your products in the right order, you let their active ingredients reach the inner layers of the hair fiber, making the treatment far more effective rather than wasting money. Now, onto the ends of our hair. I like to think of it as this whole category here. These are your receipts. They've been through everything: heat, tension, drying, combing, breakups, styling, exposure, pregnancy, illnesses, stress, kids, everything. These are the most porous and most vulnerable parts of our hair, and yet this is where the length is either lost or kept. So the mission here is to preserve them at all costs. Every moisturizing session must end with sealing your ends. Use a good sealant, even a tiny amount. If your ends start to feel parched between wash days, add a dab of oil for your entire hair because you're just doing your ends. You may think that because you have natural hair you need a lot of oil or you need thicker oils. However, this is not the case. We must go by the thickness of our hair strands. Also, a little oil applied consistently is better than applying a heavy oil or a butter to fine hair and hoping that that will solve all our problems. It won't. Next, when blow drying, leave the ends of your hair out of the equation if you can, especially if you're using a blow dryer. I understand if you're using the Revere, that's a different story. A regular blow dryer, leave your ends out. Focus the dryer on your roots and on your mids. Your ends do not need that kind of stress, especially if you blow dry your hair often. If you wear shrunken styles like a wash and go or twist out done on damp hair, keep your ends clumped. Keep them together. Don't fluff them out for volume. Keep them clumped together. Don't over separate your hair. There is strength in numbers and we need to keep those ends together so that they can be buddies together and no one strand is left behind. That's funny. Anyway, next, avoid brushing your ends, in the name of slickness. You think that you're smoothing your ends to get them all going in the same direction before you style, but what you're really doing is micro-splitting the cuticles of your already fragile ends. That friction adds up, especially on fine hair. Also, even in protective styles, the ends can dry out. Just because you tucked your hair in braids with extensions doesn't mean that your ends are safe. So moisturize your hair often. If your ends sit on your shoulders, wear your hair up. That constant brushing against your clothes is not doing any good for your ends. Handle your hair like silk, especially at the ends. Don't pass the brush through your ends so many times, and install styles that don't require you to use a rat tail comb to pick at the ends when you're taking like a tiny little braid and you're picking with the rat tail comb. Try to avoid that. Now, here are some tips that apply to all the zones, from root to tip. Consistency beats intensity every time. Don't over-clarify, over-style, over-moisturize, over-seal, over anything. Just do less. Do it regularly. Number 2, stop cutting your hair every second you feel stuck. Unless you actually see visible split ends in the ends of your hair that have frayed and it's starting to fork out, right? You don't need to cut your hair every so often. Why? The more you cut your hair, the more the mids become the ends. And if you don't even know how to take care of your hair, when the mids become ends, we'll have the exact same problem and we'll keep cutting and cutting and cutting. So we should learn how to take care of our ends as a separate entity from the rest of our hair, so that even if we do get a cut, when the mids become ends, we know what to do and we're not always cutting the ends of our hair. Number 3, use what works for your hair. If your hair thrives on thick butters, use them. If your hair prefers lighter leave-ins, go there. Either way, use what you like, what your hair likes, and stop trying different things every so often. How do you know what your hair likes? By running experiments, by paying attention, by observing, adjusting, and repeating. That's how you retain length. Let me know in the comments below what zone of your hair you struggle with the most. The roots, the mids, or the ends, and what you intend to do about it. I'll catch you in the next one. You have a great day. Bye.